TIL Dreamworks used to punish their animators who failed at their work on Prince of Egypt, by sending them to work on Shrek. Apparently the punishment even had a nickname, to be Shreked. That was before they capped the bonus amounts as well. I talked to one of the animators who worked on it and he said he basically got the down payment on his house from that alone. Haha. Guess they got the last laugh. They should have checked themselves before they Shreked themselves. At least they didn't get rangoed. Who's got the last laugh? Shrek is way more prevalent in pop culture. That's not entirely true. I worked on Prince of Egypt, not as an animator. Shrek was being done a few hundred miles north and was having some problems with the production. People did move back and forth, but it wasn't a punishment. There were people with strong abilities that were sent to work on it to fill in the gaps. If I remember correctly, the production was effectively shut down twice before the third team came in and was able to pull it together. A similar vibe was at Disney Animation when they were making Pocahontas and the Lion King. Pocahontas was Romeo and Juliet with Mel Gibson, and music was being written by the guy that did the music for Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. The Lion King was some animal cartoon with Elton John. Both movies were great, in my opinion. But it's funny to me that no one thought Lion King was gonna have the impact it did. Who knew the true tale of Shrek had so many layers? This movie is a goddamn masterpiece. I feel like this is the 50th studio executives don't know what the hell they're talking about article this week. My family has a unit of measure called a Shrek. It's equal to $40 or the amount it cost to take the family to the early show of Shrek 2 with concessions, after which I complained loudly about it costing $40. After that it was I put a Shrek, $40, in the gas tank today. That PS4 game is about a Shrek and a half, $60. Those shoes are 2 Shreks, $80. Get Shreked. The Prince of Egypt was amazing. When Angela from The Office kicks you out of the party planning committee. Did somebody once tell them that this world was gonna rule them? Edit, it is roll me. All-star lyrics, https://www. As lyrics.com/lyrics/smashmouth/allstar. HTML. TIL. It's kind of blowing my mind that people haven't even heard of Prince of Egypt. I loved this movie growing up and watch it every once in a while because I think it's just a really good movie. Maybe it's because most of my family's religious, so it was one of the few movies I could watch at my Mima and Peepa's house. Or maybe because I'm really into music, so was absolutely geeked to get a Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey collab so soon after a Whitney Houston and Brandy collab, or maybe because I thought, and still think, Steve Martin and Martin Short are hilarious together. Val Kilmer, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Ralph Fiennes, Danny Glover, Jeff Goldblum, and even some Patrick Stewart and Helen Mirren all up in the cast. Like, none of that is ringing any bells for people, and it kinda hurts that such a big part of my childhood doesn't even register for some people. LOL. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. I remember seeing both in theaters. Poe is fantastic, but Shrek got way more from target audience and is honestly cult cultural at this point. I for one would like to get Shreked. This literally makes no sense. Prince was 2D, Shrek was 3D. Prince was DreamWorks, Shrek was at PDI. Maybe the animation people were sufficiently humbled that they did better work. Probably, all the stuffy managers worked on Prince of Egypt, so Shrek people were ignored, so their inner greatness could shine. My aunt worked on Shrek for 4 years and said, I'm not really sure that's true. Shrek was animated up at PDI, a smaller independent animation studio that did service work. At the time of Shrek, DW has purchased a stake in the company, so they were kind of controlled by DW. Also, Poe was pretty much done with a lot of the animation at that point. I don't know for sure, but I think that's my sense of it. Prince of Egypt was dope though. Of everything, the animation stood out most in that film, and although I love Shrek, as an animator I'd prefer to have worked on Poe. Prince of Egypt was a good movie and the animation was amazing, but turns out that Shrek, obviously, ended up being the bigger success. According to IMDb, they still do have similar scores, with Shrek being slightly higher. I'm curious though, because Prince of Egypt was released in 1997 or 1998 and Shrek was released in 2001. Well, the Prince of Egypt was a masterpiece. Ooh, good. Prince of Egypt was a cinematic masterpiece. So that's how they made 4 of them. Manager: okay. That's it? You're going to work on Shrek. Employee: but the movie is finished. Manager: make a new one. Employee: we already made 3 of those. Manager: I said make another one. Bro, what? Prince of Egypt was incredible, so it had the same dynamic as Pocahontas and Lion King had. Ironic because Shrek was so much bigger. Somebody once told me my boss was gonna PWN me, I'm a piss poor animator, they said. Exactly what did they do to fail in Prince of Egypt? But I like Prince of Egypt, what's wrong with it? I remember watching a documentary on Prince of Egypt. If you've seen the movie, you know there's a sequence where Moses gets swamped by a sandstorm, and in the next scene, we have a shot of the sandy ground with his hair sticking out, which is soon grabbed up by a camel. Somehow, nobody noticed that this was a problem, until it was literally too late to do anything about it. That shot of Moses' hair was supposed to be a shot of grass, with his hair hidden in it, which the camel just coincidentally grabs out of all the available grass. The literal first time anyone realized something was wrong was when test audiences laughed at that shot of the hair sticking out, which they weren't meant to. So I wonder if anyone got sent to the Shrek dungeons over that. The director, for instance. I don't get it though. Prince of Egypt was an all-around success, they didn't exactly fail. So negative reinforcement does increase productivity. Shrek, while comedically fantastic, is actually barely a step above a bargain rate CG movie in visual quality. This actually makes total sense now. Funny. I've seen Shrek way more times than Prince of Egypt. Imagine if Chris Farley did finish Shrek. Jokes on them, Shrek won Best Animated Movie. That punishment backfired. Shrek is a classic. Oh god, that website was like stepping into 2001. Interesting how Shrek is more successful. Same shit happened with The Lion King. The B-level animators got that movie while the A-listers worked on Pocahontas. Guess which one is remembered way more? Even the people who worked on Shrek hated Shrek. As the only millennial I know who hates Shrek, I feel vindicated. Prince of Egypt is my favorite movie. Used to watch it once a week as a child, memorized all the songs and have the entire soundtrack. Masterpiece. It doesn't matter if Shrek made lots of money. If your bosses don't like you and he sent you to a project that he thought was going to fail but didn't, he still won't be paying you that profit he made. There are jackasses in this world, and unfortunately, some of them are our bosses. I find it hilarious that both of those movies became absolute masterpieces in their own respects. Prince of Egypt is definitely underrated. Shreked. How is working on the Bible punishment? You're in my swamp now. Dreamworks, probably. Task failed successfully.